believe that we should continually look to improve our financial regulations. And that means finding ways to reduce compliance costs, improve efficiencies, and to strengthen protections for consumers, investors, and taxpayers. The financial crisis and the Great Recession that followed continues to remind us of the need for strong rules of the road. In 2008, we had only begun to understand the impacts of the crisis in our communities. After the banks, the insurers, and the government-sponsored enterprises and others went belly up or needed to be resuscitated by the U.S. government, we watched as our neighbors and our family members lost their homes, their jobs, and their savings. And we watched as businesses across the country had to close their doors and lay off workers, all while taxpayers had to bail out some of the worst offenders just to prevent an even bigger meltdown. Today, more than 9 years after the start of the crisis, my home state of New Jersey has the highest foreclosure rate in the country, with 1 in every 559 homes in foreclosure. In some counties, the foreclosure rate is as high as 1 of every 202 homes. So it's difficult for me to forget that most of the loans were originated in the years leading up to the crisis. So my priority is to evaluate whether the changes proposed in the bill will support and protect hardworking families in New Jersey. In that light, I have concerns with the bill being marked up today and will not be supporting it. In my view, the combined efforts of the bill's provisions inject more risk into the system, limit our ability to monitor and respond to those risks, and provide consumer protections largely in name only. However, I remain open to working with stakeholders and colleagues on both sides of the aisle to move consensus measures that advance the goals of reducing compliance costs and improving efficiencies, while also strengthening protections for consumers, investors, and taxpayers. We know that regulation is not a one-size-fits-all exercise, and tailored measures to reduce costs can be compatible with strong protections if done correctly. I intend to introduce an amendment that I believe strikes the right balance on mortgage regulations, and my colleagues, I'm sure, will do the same on other provisions of the bill. We should support amendments that reduce the compliance costs for community banks and credit unions in targeted ways without eroding core consumer protections or making our economy vulnerable to systemic risk. And it's in that spirit that I look forward to the markup, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Menendez.